Oh, sorry. Peace and blessings and keep up the lessons. I was muted there. Peace and blessings, keep up the lessons, and welcome to another live that I'm doing, the Brother Talib Show. I got a couple of guests that may be coming on. We're going to get into discussion deal with the topic is basically racism of Ukraine, Western media of African and Middle Eastern, and all, even other people that were there, like Indians in Ukraine. And the discussion is basically on what's taking place, what has transpired, what has been going on in the media, and everything that you might have been seeing. People, regular people like ourselves, YouTube putting out, some videos on it, but also the regular Western media, and as well as African media, other countries that covering in their different perspectives of what's been going on. And overallly, what we're seeing is a lot of the the racism stuff coming about, and I would like to also thank my brother Happy Companion coming on in, and being here. He's gonna help talk about and discuss and put some pointers on this issue. And then maybe we should hopefully have a few other brothers coming in, inshallah. But anybody, just so you know the rules regularly, like most of the other brothers that we go into their channels and stuff like that in lives, it's the same, pretty much the same. Just have respect, no cursing. If you come in, and then I'm gonna probably see how things go. That I put up the live stream link, so then you can come in and ask questions. I mean, or put your name out there too. And comment on this issue. But to start up, let's get into this video that I first wanted to start off with, which was these gentlemen. They're Nigerian, and they were pretty much stranded. One of them was actually stranded in. And I'm going to start with him. Just give me a sec, and we'll go and listen to that first, and then take it from there. And talk about and try to talk about what we feel about what they are going through, and bring some light to it, because this is a need, and we really need to do this. All right, so let's listen.
Thank you again for joining us today on this. Of course, it's just a lot of going on, especially with you guys over there in Ukraine. But let's understand what's your name and where are you joining this call from?
Oh, my name is Isaac, and I'm joining from Kiev, Erpin, Oblak.
Okay, what's the situation?
Now, real quick, as you've noticed, this guy, he was actually in the dark, and he explains why. But it shows the seriousness of the matter, and then he talks about it. And this guy, he's the one who's interviewing him. He's with Channels Television in Nigeria, one of their media, I guess, stations, and I guess he's trying to cover these guys in a live stream as well. But this was in February, so we'll see. Let's go on and see what else he's talking about.
I mean, obviously we can see that we can't see you very well. So where exactly are you?
Okay, so right now, in the house where we live, I was initially at basement, but we have a lot of people there, so I had to excuse myself just to make this call. But I was asked by the house manager to switch off the lights because we are hearing that the Russian troops are already here. So we don't want to draw any attention right now. So that's it.
Oh, okay, so did you try making your way out of Kiev before you got out? I can hear you. Did you try making your way out of Kiev? What was the situation when you tried? If indeed you did.
Oh yes, I did try several times living in Kiev, but to no avail. Where I am right now, there is no way I can order a taxi, and there is no bus. There's no movement at all. So I and my friends have been trying to see to make way, but it's impossible. We will not be able to leave where we are right now. So we've been here since yesterday.
All right, so like you said, it's you and your friends. How many of you Nigerians are in the building as we speak?
We are 7 at the moment. 7 of us.
Okay.
So, if you want to say anything on this real quick, Aki, or me, I can say this much. The seriousness of the matter is that they can't get around pretty much in a stranded situation. And he was in Ukraine, but they later on this, as I go into the video a little more, they have some other people that were making way out, and it was just a lot going on. But overallly, they weren't allowing a lot of the Nigerians to go freely to get out, as the Ukrainians were able to do, or so-called Europeans that were there, as we know. So basically, what do you have to say about that?
Well, it seems like their experience is, basically what a lot of us have been experienced throughout, in the diaspora for many years, in that type of situation, that mentality that, hey, if you go to a place, I mean, as far as like decades ago, generations ago, it's like the African brothers, sisters are facing the same kind of issues that we face, but in a different way. It seems like they just they expect. It seemed like, to be honest with you, I think that these African governments need to be over there in Ukraine on those borders, land borders, assisting and working with those border guards and in a joint operation in order to help alleviate all these issues. You know what I'm saying? And so if they had that, I think that would, because the Ukrainians are only going to care about their people, their citizens. You know what I'm saying? But if Nigeria and all these other countries aren't involved in that, if they're not over there in the government in a diplomatic type of way, I'm pretty sure there's embassies over there that in Russia and in the Ukraine from Nigeria, and they should be over there assisting their citizens for getting across the border, instead of just depending on the Ukrainians to do what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and then I agree, man, because the thing about it is that it's like they're all alone to fend for themselves. And even in one of the statements that the other guys that are on this live that spoke, and they said that when they spoke to their embassy officials, they told them that just be safe, and there's nothing much we can do, and just look after yourself. I mean, like, you might see you're the people who's supposed to get out such situations go down. It's part of the service of the embassy for political, diplomacy. If something comes off, as long as if there's people in these countries from these lands, and the embassy from that land is to facilitate that type of stuff, like you're saying, and to have some of their staff that would go and be at the borders to help make sure traffic is going through well for their people, as well as, because of course any country is going to look out for their own people as being attacked. That's understood. Just let alone besides the racist part, you know what I mean? So yeah, you're correct on that. Yeah, but let me go into this other guy real quick. Let me see where was I at? Let's hear what he's saying. But the other guy that's in another situation. This guy's in that situation, and this other guy is in his situation. So we can listen to that.
Okay, so again, let me just hold it there for a bit. We have other people joining the conversation at the moment. Again, this is a live panel television chat with Nigerians abroad, some in Ukraine, some in Poland, and also some in Nigeria. We have Dr. Victor Bamishaye, who's joining us from Abuja. We have Dr. Tade Omotosho, he is joining us from Poland, and Timothy Adegbile, who is joining us from Kiev. Timothy, let's get your own experience. Again, just give us a background. What have you experienced since all of this brouhaha has started?
Okay, can you hear me very well?
Yes, please, I can hear you. for the opportunity. I'm currently in Lviv right now. I'm based in Lviv. And the situation in Ukraine has been quite tense and very tough, especially from people coming from the Eastern Axis and Southern Axis. We in the West and Western cities like Lviv, Ternopil, and Uzhhorod, they've been kind of relatively calm. But because of the traffic of people coming into, it's been a bit like frantic. Currently now, students and Nigerians are trying to make it out of Lviv through the Polish border. But there are several points of crossing, but they are not really letting the Nigerians live through all the points. Currently, there's only one point out of those seven that is still living, is still allowing people to live. That's one challenge. So people that have gone to other points, and you know how far the border is. So they went there and they trekked for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours on getting to the border. Now they could not enter. They could not pass through. Now they're basically like stranded and have to walk back to civilization. And
now that's the point that is been going on in the news, and even if you see my thumbnail and the people who are here, they've watched the thumbnail to see that these people were stranded, and there was reasons why. A good portion of them was due to that bias, policy, right? Racial bias policy. Maybe you can't say for sure if the government, that's what they do or how they treat the people like that, other than their own people. But it was done, and we see it, and there's videos and footage that has been caught, as a lot of media that have been covering this, So I'm gonna push on a little bit and try to go to the other part, if I can do that in a quick minute. But actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm just mention about this other guy, because I wanted to go into another video that gets a little more juicy and shows some of the statements of the media, and then we can even talk about that. But what the other guy is, that Dr. something, I guess he was saying, he was in Poland. He's in Poland, and he was showing how the difficulty even getting through the borders. And he mentioned something about that his dad, some friends of his they were women, and he knew of them, and they let him know that it was 30. They had 30 people, 30 Nigerian other people with them traveling, and they tried to get through a border. They could not get through the border. They stopped them, to get into Poland. And then I was hearing stuff about Poland too. People getting turned away that are not Ukrainian. So, but basically, let me go to this other video real quick. Hold on, let me remove this one. Yeah, I'm still learning the steps and how to do this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
So that, I mean, you can say anything else in relation to, as far as what I would say is it's sad, but that they put themselves, and then also don't give yourself an out plan out of the situation. You know what I mean? While you're going to these lands, whatever land you're trying to go to, that's understood. It's fine. You're trying to do this for your, you're doing this for your basic, better living. You want to have a better career in your life, whatever these people gone for their education, they've gone for just to live, because they don't, they struggled in their country, whether it's one of those African countries that might be struggling, infrastructure is struggling, all of that. And I understand that, but there's so many other parts of Africa, you know what I mean, to go to other than just going to Europe. But that's another thing that we get into. I want to get, there's a question. I got like 2 questions to cover into that, a little bit to that aspect. But let me see. Hold on a second. Still.
No problem.
You gotta move around in this joint. Yeah, man. Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Right now it's got the ad on, but
feeling your favorite song. These are the days.
Russia has been ramping up its bombing of civilian areas, and they captured at least one major city in South Ukraine. But despite seeing their country decimated by the Russian military, Ukrainian people have still shown some remarkable compassion. And believe it or not, they've shown it to the Russian soldiers themselves.
Among all the chaos in Ukraine, humanity still prevails. This video going viral this morning appearing to show Ukrainians.
Hold on a second. I don't know how did I get to that. We must have won back.
I'm going to capture Russian.
Hold on. There was another video. I don't know why I came to that video. What do you say about, like, as far as, like, matter of fact, let me just go into the question while I'm looking for the video real quick. Hold on, let me see if I can go up. Well, okay. I'm having a little mess up problem here. You see it?
No, I didn't see no.
I was
check
trying
out
to post it.
I sent check out the private chat because it's a couple of links that I sent this information to. But check it out real quick. Are you able to look in the private chat real quick?
The private chat? Yeah, hold on. Let me just give peace and blessings to Tijan. I appreciate you coming. And Abad, or is it? I think it's Abode. Okay. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for coming. Hold on. Let me check your private chat.
Yeah, because I got a couple of links for you.
Okay. Now you were saying about the moderator. That's the thing that.
No, I have a private chat. Look, brother, I have a private chat that I'm discussing with you in the back, and there's a reason for that. So you need to check it out real quick.
Yeah, I'm
read
there.
it to yourself.
I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now,
I'm there.
Okay. So now, okay. You understand what I'm saying? There's a couple of links.
Yeah, I
in
got
there.
you. I don't see the links yet. But hold on. Let me get to.
Just read the private chat again because the links is in there.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Okay. You understand?
All right. Hold on. Yeah. Let me go there. Hold on. Got you. Yep, that's done.
Okay.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
Hold on for a second. Let me get to this. Try to get to this video. Turn this one off and get this thing right. I've been trying. I don't know why that came up that way. Because I had the video already ready. I mean, you know,
soldier giving him tea.
You know, I'm like, what the heck? You know, it's like they do stuff like they want to do stuff with you. You know what I'm saying?
You know, like rock, right?
Yeah. See. All right, hold on. Let me get this back again. Yeah. Hold on for a second. Okay. Sorry, people. Okay, here we go. I'm coming up. I'm about to pull it up. I'm ready. All right, here we go. So this was a show. It's called Young Turks. You ever heard of him?
No.
Yeah, this guy, he goes in, but just listen to what he's saying.
There's racism in the there are racist Ukrainians. So let me do it this way because I think people will be blind. I'm anti-war, but as my grandmother would say, I got plenty of walking around saying what Putin is doing in Ukraine is wrong, morally wrong. What some Ukrainians are doing to black people inside of their country is wrong as well, and racist as hell. Now, reporters who are reporting on this are also showing their extreme racism in how they contextualize European countries. And I'm going to break all of this down in real time. Let me take you to the first video.
Now with the Russians marching in, it's changed the calculus entirely. Tens of thousands of people have tried to flee the city. There will be many more. People are hiding out in bomb shelters. But this isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan, that has seen conflict raging for decades. This is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen. So it's partly human nature, but they are not in denial.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I can't hear you. You're muted.
Mute myself. I'm sorry. So I was saying, what do you think about what this guy said that just spoke, the reporter, in relation to, being a, Ukraine's supposed to be civilized, supposed to be,
No, there's nothing really civilized about most or any country in the world, to be honest with you. There's a lot of evil in every place, Africa, Europe, Asia. It's not like there's always development, there's always growth, there's always learning, there's always tribalism, there's always going to be discrimination, always going to be racist. It's just going to be there. And like I said, he mentioned the reporters. Yeah, the reporters seem to be biased, and from what he's saying, and that they have a subtle racism. You can compare Fox News, CNN, or MSNBC. Those three, they have different agendas, different things that they're trying to create as far as their narratives and the information they're trying to convey. So to me, that's how I see it. It's like we can't really say, well, these people over there, uncivilized. I mean, there's uncivilized everywhere we go, that we experience. It could be, you can have the most, even Dubai, I've been to Dubai so many times, but you go into other areas outside of the main city, it's like going back 200 years. And so, that's how I see it. That's my point in it. And like I said, they're gonna try to protect. Yeah, they're gonna try to create the narrative, and that's what media is. Social media and stuff like that. It can make or destroy whatever is going on. It depends on how the information is pushed out. And so, and it's a good thing that these African brothers, our brothers and sisters out there, they got social media now, as far as our phones that can record and live streams and things like that. Because otherwise, a lot of this won't even be recognized. People be thinking, oh, they're not appreciative of the situation that they're in. We housed them, we schooled them, we gave them a future that they didn't have and all that. And so people won't see, people will only hear what who's in control, who are giving that information out. But now all this information is going into the news from these African brothers and sisters. So that's what they are looking at right now. So yeah.
And this type of stuff is running on the regular media anyway, because I've seen this. Actually, I got this through Young Turks, but I've seen this with others. And I mean, a lot of the people, even the mainstream media, are running this. And even they was on The View with Whoopi Goldberg and the other girl. I can't remember her name. She's light skinned. I forgot her name, but she made some mention about how the mistreatment was. A lady that was, I think she was Mexican. She's Mexican background, and she was on there, and she was going back and forth with this lady about trying to make excuses, or even deny that what was being actually shown in footage wasn't going on and taking place over there in Ukraine. She was trying to, back up media to paint the image as though there's really nothing going on. Ukraine is just normally doing it's what it does, what it's supposed to do, to trying to remove the people. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. On the view right there. And Whoopi was trying, he was trying to, calm it down because both of those ladies were going back and forth. But let me listen to this guy. He's supposed to be now. Some people might say, well, that could be some troops or it can be some regular citizens. This guy, he's in a high political position. He's an official. But listen to what he says.
It's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed. Children being killed every day with Putin's missiles and his helicopters and his eyes and blonde hair being. I'm sorry, it's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed. Children being killed every day with Putin's missiles and his helicopters and his rockets.
And so
You muted.
So, of course, I understand and respect the emotion. What you are outlining there is this tension between longer-term efforts to apply pressure to Vladimir Putin, such as financial sanctions, and the very immediate military threat which you're experiencing.
Just to put it bluntly, these are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from neighboring Ukraine. And that, quite frankly, is part of, these are Christians, they're white, they're similar to people, people who live in culture.
Now the unthinkable has happened to them. This is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
This is Europe. These are good Christian white people. I mean, they're civilized, as the first reporter said. It's not like Morocco. These aren't refugees from Syria.
They should be ashamed of themselves. They are human beings.
Surely right. They should be ashamed of themselves. But what I was saying, I'm sorry, I was muted. But I'm trying to do this muting. Sometimes the button gets stuck or something. Yeah, but I was trying to say the guy, and actually in the video, he didn't, I guess we didn't get to that point where he tells what it is. But if you see other videos, you can even look this guy up and find out that he is an actual, and I'm not just saying this off my head, he's an actual official that was speaking on behalf of the Ukrainian government. You know what I mean? So that's the point. The point is not just no low-level person that's doing it because they happen to be racist, but then the government is not, or whatever. This is stuff people in the government that even have been portraying, doing these types of evils. You know what I mean? So it's not good, and that's the point. And our people have to realize that. This is why I'm doing this video, and I'm hoping other more videos where people can put out more information on what's going on in these countries to bring a better narrative. Like even you mentioned earlier today when you did your live, and it has to be a better type of way about how our people, our African brothers and sisters over there in Africa, to find their way and to make their way for a better living in Africa other than outside, because unfortunately, even in China, even in Asia, certain places in Asia, we experience that, especially here in North America, we know what we go through, so, I mean, what you have to say to this guy?
Well, it is what it is, man. That's what it seems like. It's as far as being, like I mentioned about civilized and all that, and it said what he mentioned is good Christian and all that. You can't really, when it comes to European Christianity, it's never been about, not every place, but they've a lot of those places, countries, didn't see us as humans. They saw us as a curse. So how are you gonna call that version of Christianity someone that should be held at a good standard when their whole history was involved with the slave trade, transatlantic slave trade, forcibly conversion, dark black people putting their images of Jesus, peace be upon him, as the image of them, how they look. Just all that isn't making it doesn't make sense to me. It's like the newscaster was right. He was being sarcastic, but in the same time he was sort of like giving them put them on a pedestal as if they should be hey, you following this, you are this color and you this religion, so you should be better. No, history has shown how it is. I was watching this movie today since a couple of days called The Reverend, believe, with DiCaprio. Irreverent, man, it's a very good movie. I watched it in a movie theater a long time ago, and I finally watched it on Netflix. And I saw how those guys are over there, and they was just demolishing the Native Americans, over there, the indigenous people there. And they was saying, they was using Christianity, saying this, and putting the people down as savages and things like that. You understand? So when somebody say, hey, I'm a white, these people are white Christians, they should be. It's not that. It's the mentality. It's what the history shows. And if people are going to be good in this way, they should be good despite the religion, because their religion isn't making certain people good. It's not. It's making people hate people more, and that's the issue. And so that's what I got to say on that.
That's right, brother. You're right. And look at what Abode says. They were refusing Asian from trains as well. Asians, yes. I think they were Indian. And Eastern Europe is very racist against non-Europeans. We know this. That's why one of them even said that, these people saying what they're saying is that they speak as though Europe has never been known for the things that they've been doing. And like people just been sleeping all these years. And now all of a sudden you do news reports and you say, how could this happen to Ukraine? That stuff has been going on over there in Eastern Europe for a minute. All the different changes going through, and the racist stuff that they was doing. Look at what happened with Bosnia. Bosnia was supposed to be they were Muslim Europeans, and they got massacred almost much because of what? Because they were Muslim. So that's bigotry, racial, religious bigotry. You know what I mean? So they've been bigots. And we got to face it, and that's the problem. The people are not facing this stuff. They're really not. So, but let me see. I wanted to bring some questions because we have a few people in here, tonight. But I'm like you. I go according to the flow of how everybody is and the amount of people in. If we are really getting into the subject matter. So I want to just throw some questions out to try to bring to us. And Abode, you can also answer if you want. As a matter of fact, if you want to come in and get on the panel, it's up to you, Abode. But if anything, because I was expecting some other brothers, but they probably couldn't make because they're busy, But the first question was, why does Africans go to European countries and North America for education, then going to be, to any of the universities that are in Africa? Because not all the universities in Africa just don't have a whole lot of books, and the infrastructure that runs the school isn't up to par. I know there's some good universities. I was in Egypt, and they have one, the Cairo University. One of my close Muslim brothers, elder brother, he worked there, and he was a professor. And he was doing well, and he didn't complain about the infrastructure of school or the way things are run, and they didn't have enough this and that. Students were graduating, getting good jobs later, and all this type of stuff. So what's the problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, basically, there's a lot of things to that. A lot of these countries that the Africans are going to, they should consider first world countries. the degrees are more acceptable, more accepted, and can I say they put on a higher standard level than the other degrees. But let me take other schools, but countries. But you go to an Indian school in India, those schools are tough, from what I heard. Even when I was in Oman, a lot of Omanis would go to Indian schools, engineering and all that, and it's tough. But that accreditation isn't the U.S. accreditation or UK accreditation. So that's what a lot of these companies look for in the diaspora. Do you have it? Because you can have an engineering degree from some country, and you basically have to start all over. Or even medical doctors sometimes have to start all over when you go to the diaspora,
Right.
UK or things, because they don't. It's just like the money, the value of the money, the dollar, the pound, the euro is higher, is a higher standard and worth more than a lot of these countries in Africa. It's like everything's based. It's like created to make everything that's African. They downplay it. People it's downplayed. It's like at a lower level, and so that's what causes it. And the people who cause the societies in these countries that the Africans live in contribute to it as well. When they could be they contribute to it as well. When they could try to persuade people that people into get more accreditation, like I mentioned, dual accreditation or something. So that way they can still get that type of standard, U.S. standard or UK whatever, Western standard, and still have standards that are for their country as well.
That's correct. And we was talking, like you said, you was talking about that in your, and I was chatting back and I was like, yeah, that's correct, because that kind of like covers the people's lack of, or they doubt in that they can get what they need out of Africa, because that point is still, we have to be real, keep it real. It's still like a sleeping giant, and it's like you just like wake up. We're still trying to wake up in Africa. We're still trying to wake up, and in various areas, we're trying to wake up in economics. We're trying to wake up in infrastructure. We're trying to wake up in the political system to be better run without corruption. All these different things are going on to try to do reforms in Africa. And this is what it is. So some of these people, they doubt, and then they say, listen, I can't do it here. I got to go somewhere else, and I have to get a better job so that I can take care of my family here. And some of them don't return. They like get stuck over there because it's so inviting. It's so, luminous desires. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. But you're right on that. The accreditation, doing dual accreditation, going where they can do the schooling there in Africa, but if they want to go and like build themselves to a more profitable or marketable, that's actually better to say, marketable level of where they can get a job, a really good job, but then they want to come back and help to build and contribute to the societies and the countries ever in Africa, to build it up with the people and go to those schools. Or even if they go so far where they graduate with masters or PhD, become a professor and bring it back to Africa. You know what I mean? Start with the people like that. Don't do the brain, what is it called? The brain drain. You know what I mean? Where they get stuck in Europe and all that, using you for all your time, even though because you were professional in your fields and stuff that you did and working in the States, gave them all that energy, and you said, I'm done. I'm coming back home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is the mentality that we need. We need that type of mentality to come, inshallah. So, but crazy, man. But another thing too, and I think that's actually with the question that actually goes along with that question. But just to put this one up, why can't how can we do, and how can we give alternative of our fellow Africans, alternative or better alternative, and or choice. You know what? But you gave one. You said it right there with the accreditation, dual accreditation. And what would be some other, like, you know, even a vote, if you could put it out there, what would be some other things that we can do to get them to feel more comfortable staying in Africa, doing their education there, unlike going into all these other areas that the people don't really care about them just because of their color, just because of who they are, where they come from, you know what I mean? Or their status as far as rich or poor or whatever. You know, why go to the country, but you're going to run up against that. But, you know, we need to do something to get them to be able to say, okay, well, I don't need to go over there. You know what I mean? Because we got. So what is some of the other things that you might throw out? And I'll follow up right behind you.
No problem, Achi. I think that there's two sides to it. I mean, you're gonna have kids and stuff already over there in diaspora, of course. So, you know, when not in all these schools and things, U.S. schools in all these countries, kids are able to, if they're from the States, or if they're from France, if they're from UK, they have these schools in Africa, from that's accredited, and they're their own schools. You know, the University of French in Ghana. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
if they had the same situation that, hey, Ghanaian University in California, you know what I'm saying? Some university, if they're already in the diaspora already, that's an alternative too, in a sense that they have to have pride in their country's educational system. That's a first start as well. And then you can also have a dual program there in the diaspora that say, okay, this university is a University of Ghana in California, but guess what? It does get U.S. accreditation too. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that, yeah, that's one thing that I can say, because you never really see other schools, universities or foreign universities. It's like you don't see any military bases in the U.S. as well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you know, there's some reasons for that, and there's good reasons too. You know what I'm saying? Which you know, like I said, I serve and stuff, and I have no issues with, you know what I'm saying, with that part of anything. I don't have no issues like that. So what I'm trying to say is, so in order to, I think I kind of mentioned it today too, is like now we have a lot of diasporans that are educators, myself and higher educational people. And then we are coming here with this education, these Western degrees. And so we can basically teach at these universities that's already there, probably more than likely, and get that hybrid type of education, you know what I'm saying, for these students. Because, you know, it's like, unless the policies change, unless the value of the educations of these countries decrease, there's no way to get around it. You know, I'm proud of the degree that I did. I worked hard for it. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm in Africa as well, and I like to learn some stuff about Africa too. You know, so even if they put, you know, so that way, the kids would be like proud of their country, their nationality, their countries, and also they'd be proud that even though I'm in the diaspora, guess what? I can go to university. I'd be around a whole bunch of people from Ghana. I'd be a whole bunch of people from Sierra Leone. I'd be people, all these foreign, these African students. So that way, their parents are like, well, we want to send them to Africa, but there's nothing going on there. There's no way for them to stay. You know, people pass on or whatever, but they can still get that cultural experience and education in the diaspora. That's one thing I was going to say. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, everybody. That's video.
Yes, please. Thank you. I appreciate it. And those of you who are not subscribed, and, inshallah, subscribe so you can have, and, get that notification bell put on, make sure it's on, and then you can get into some more of the videos that I have, where I come and do these lives that I do. Also connecting with our brother Happy Companion and do the Islamic Thought Show, and just get in with us. We're trying to keep everybody informed, and he does plenty of videos, mashallah. You can get to subscribe to him, those of you who are new here, and click the like button, like you said. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, so and pretty much like my thing in the swing right with you with that is that learning and knowing that a lot of the people making maneuvers for more economical, situations of their life to be better. It's like morally based on economical change in their life. So then the in the diaspora, that they get this knowledge, but along with, because there's Africans that are African grown, homegrown, that came up and they stayed in their countries, or they stayed in the continent, and they just learned well how to facilitate programs, facilitate economical programs, or organizations that would help people to learn like business, to learn skills, to learn all these different things that are going to create a better economical situation for them in Africa. So the diasporans, that's the point that I'm saying. Okay, you go and you get educated, but don't forget to come back and don't get caught up into the brain drain situation.
Yeah,
come back.
Yeah,
help, and even themselves, they can start an NGO, or non-for-profits or whatever. Start some program, organization that can start, economical empowerment and stuff like that, business empowerment, these things, because that's what it seems to be. A lot of them leave for those main reasons, besides other things that we know they might want to just in the midst. But go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be sorry, but we need to add on to that what we just discussed. I was watching a movie. I don't support Iran and all this stuff. Okay, it was a Hollywood movie, with Sally Shields. I think her name is Sally Shield. Forgot her name. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, it was not. It was a movie
Sally
called
Shields.
Not Without My. Yeah, well, it was not. It was a movie called Not Without My Daughter. She married an Iranian guy, and and he went ahead. He was Muslim and stuff. He went ahead. He was a doctor. Yeah, he was a medical doctor. She basically had to smuggle her daughter out of the country. But what happened is that he left the States. He was a medical doctor. He went over to Iran, basically at that time it was like a third world country and stuff. So the facilities wasn't all that. But guess what? It was like it's in the late 70s or something, the Iranian Revolution, whatever. And he went ahead, became they hired him. Hey, you a U.S. degree? Oh man, doctor degree. Boom. Hey, man. As soon as that revolution hit, and then this with the Iranian hostages, it was at the embassy. They trying to they made hostages out of our citizens. You know what I'm saying? The American embassy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened after that happened? He tried to go to work one day, and they wouldn't accept him back to work. I said, why? You have a U.S. degree. We only want Iranian degrees. So that stuff, we don't need that. So if that's the case, and I'm not saying to be so harsh in that aspect, but I think that if they have a clause say, you know what, okay, you coming from the diaspora or whatever with U.S. degree, but you want to come back home and stuff, but we need you to get a couple of years of education here too as well, or don't even accept, saying, well, whoever got a degree from here, guess what? We're gonna accept that degree. You probably get a priority in hiring and stuff because you actually stayed in here and got educated through the country where you're from. And so that can eliminate a lot of things. Well, with the other side of the coin, some people are like, well, I just stay in the States then, or UK or whatever. Then if I got to go all the way over there and start all over. Well, but you know what? Well, that's okay, because we got people here who are highly educated and they graduated from our schools, and we can get them against. You know what I'm saying? There's ways around it, and you know, so that's why I want to add. Yeah, Sally Fields. I said Sally Fields. Sally Fields. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Smokey and the Bandit.
Appreciate that. You know, but that's true. You know, they get caught up, and you know, like I said, the brain drain situation. But if they can take heed and say, well, Africa is in the developing age again. I actually got to say redevelopment, because Africa was the first development of the earth. You know, ancient wise, as far as, you know, civilization and all that type of stuff, even money and economics. The most richest man was Mansa Musa. Come on. So we have a lot of these things in history that Africa had before, but because of its loss, it went like into a deep sleep and a coma, like, and now we're trying to awaken it. So be a part of the awakening, brothers and sisters. And don't get me wrong now, brother, but he's saying any of us, you brothers from sisters or sisters from there that might listen to this video in the stream or actually in the stream, that we are coming at you like all that would happen and took place with these people with their atrocious evil acts done and how they're talking in the media it's not your fault. But we don't want ourselves in a position where we're looking over the grass to see if it's greener when we're in our homes, we're in our own area, and we don't like what we see here. We want to get out of that and go to over on the side and make sure that, you know, before you go to the other side, that you know what's going on over there and you're ready to deal with whatever's going to come if you have to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, like the brother was saying, all of a sudden a revolution jumps off and look, you're nothing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
we have. Do you want to sacrifice yourself like that? And that's what we have to know. And the narrative that I feel that has to be brought is that we should push, Africa as the place to develop and to do your thing there and develop yourself up. Especially if you already got your degree. But if you didn't get your degree, okay, you go there, come on back. That's just my point. Come on back and get the work. And there's some of them that have. Some of the countrymen that left and they went and they came back and they repatriated back. And some of them are still doing at this time in these years, past 2020, year of return and all that. You got Africans that were born in Africa, or they have African parents that settled in the diaspora and then coming back to Africa to start businesses or to do their thing there, become a well-skilled person that they make pretty good money in the company that's coming up, because you got several rich Africans that have been money up for businesses and they're paying their people. And as long as the corruption is not there, then people are going to get what they deserve. And we got to accept that. We can't say, oh, all of Africa is corrupt all the time. No, we got to get out of that mentality. That's what I'm saying. Change mentality, changing the narrative.
Of course.
Yeah.
Brother Abodi mentioned something good. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Actually, let me read it. It says, for those that actually don't see it, it's sometime in catch-22. Most African countries don't have the infrastructure to support those educated Africans in sciences and the medical field, and the governments won't invest in those industries. Yeah, and that's true. It's difficult, but because we know, and we say in Islam, we know the earth is spacious. So, and Africa is spacious, and you have so many different countries, that if one country ain't doing what you want, then go to another one. Go around, travel. And sometimes it's hard because you don't have money. But if you can get out of the continent and get get or go into the water and put yourself in danger and get to these lands that you end up in as the diaspora, then you can move around in Africa too, because like the brother's saying, yeah, but some countries do have what is needed. Rwanda, that place is moving, man. Subhanallah. You know what I mean? South Africa's been known ahead of things, but still the white supremacy stuff going on. Afrikaners they still try to hold that, strength down them to keep them from going too much so far. But there's a little more going on there. Several countries, and then some of these brothers that are like going Black Africa, he's been around certain countries, and he's been able to explain which countries are upcoming or very very lucrative as far as for business and this and that like that, and this is good. I like that, and that's what we should be doing too. Educating people to learn that Africa has prospects.
Yes. Yeah, another thing, the salaries. A lot of Nigerians, I mean, they in the diaspora that are medical doctors. You know why? Because guess what? I mean, making 25,000 a year, compared to 200, 300,000, whatever doctors get paid in the diaspora. That's one of the issues too. We got so much rich. Africa's so rich in minerals and in history and all that. And you got places like Timbuktu, you got the pyramids, you got all these great things that's been made, and but it's like it's still not given the appreciation and the support and the notoriety that it should be receiving. As far as corruption and this and that, it shouldn't even be that much. There's corruption everywhere. Even in my old previous employments and stuff, I mean, people get corrupt all the time. It's not just people talking about just here, in the continent, and people get greedy. People get caught up. All these police officers and stuff getting robbing drug dealers and taking their money and stuff. Just all planting drugs, and it's corruption everywhere. Corruption everywhere.
Everywhere. So, is there anybody else in the room? Just to let you know and remind you, click the like button and share the video. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe to me and the brother, a happy companion. He's a fun-going guy. You get good information on, and those of you from the diaspora trying to make way back to Africa, Gambia is a good prospect of things going on. The brother has a lot of information of things that are going on there into business. He has his own stuff he does. So gear in and connect with him through his channel, as well, his channel, inshallah. So, but it's about good hour in now. We've been doing. If anybody wants to continue on or make any more comments in the chat, that's fine. Or if you want to actually even get on the panel, just let me know in the comment space. But we'll go on for another 15 minutes. I just want to try to have a closeout. So, and then if anybody wants to speak, then we'll just allow them to come up, and we'll let the time go a little longer past 15 minutes. But anyway, so now as far as the what I was trying to get at, as far as when I did this video, and trying to get stuff out, I'm not going to spend too much more time on, because I've done a series of videos for the past week and all this stuff, and the coverage has been going on, and other people putting these videos like this, the young Turks and stuff like that. But what do you think is a good way to kind of besides social media, like what we're doing here, to get the word across to the people, as far as to bring a better narrative of just making way and going to these countries and putting themselves into these situations, because the world is changing, and there's a lot going on where you can't just go anywhere and not be prepared, not have a way out. That's just on a normal general basis. But let alone for the racism parts, and that what we always experience, just like you said earlier, bro, that wherever we go and through times of before we was even born, this stuff has been going on. and it still hasn't gone away. And that's so what these medias have revealed in their statements and their racist, inspired, because white supremacy is what it inspires, and they speak on privilege that they feel that their people should have, or these people in that country, Ukraine, should have, because they're white. But that's been going on for a while, so it's just exposed itself again that it's still alive. You know what I mean? So we got to be mindful and get the better narrative to say, okay, we don't want to go to these places where we're not wanted for that way. We're wanted to give them this, all the energies to help build their infrastructure better in their country and be in the workforce. But as far as who we are, our background, our heritage, whatever, that doesn't matter. So it's almost like a form of servitude, serfdom. You know what I mean? Like, come in and give us our energy that we need, your manpower, and that's all we need from you. But other than that, we'll pay you fine, but you ain't nobody to us, and so we gotta change this. We gotta change this narrative of wanting to go and take this like type of action, just allow it. You know what I mean? No, I think that we have to say, we have to change, make a change,
Okay, so I know brother Abdul Bode wants to get the link in, so drop the link for him if you want to.
Yes, I see. All right, hold on for a second. Let me try to get the brother. I'm sorry. We'll put it right in a minute. Just give me a quick second. Okay, the link is there. And wait for the brother to come on in, inshallah. So what do you think, while we're waiting for the brother to come in and give his his comment or point on it?
We keep saying that they're going to different places to learn and stuff. And how can we use some things besides social media? Hey, they need to call back to their families all the time, let them know what's going on there every single day. I'm talking about not now, I'm talking about prior to this issue that's going on. Let them know the truth, because see, a lot of times these kids go and their parents are so proud of them because they made it out. They made it out of the situation, and they're going to be educated, they get this and that. And so the kids don't want to disappoint their parents. And so that's one thing I can see. Mashallah. Assalamu alaikum. Man, you look familiar to me, brother. Oh, you does.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you brothers hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, brother, we're friends on Instagram.
Yes, of course. I had Instagram, and they shut mine down. Are you talking about you and Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you need Tyler. Yeah.
Let me get another one though.
So okay, so if you want to go into the beginning, if you want to go into the beginning of what we was talking about as far as the videos, or if you want to just talk about what we at the end of this, like just speaking about trying to change the narrative and like that, and what other things that we can do to try to get the people, like the brother brought a good point, is calling and communicating with the parents and the family on a regular basis, like keeping that connect, right, Ak? That's what you mean? Keeping that connect, kind of?
No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Keep that
what
connect.
Could you add to this as far as?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Actually, yeah, Juan, I wanted to go back to, I guess, for lack of a better word, to kind of piggyback on kind of a previous subject as to what the brothers were talking about, if you don't mind, like as far as the situation in Africa, inshallah, and what, and I guess, why is our situation the way that it is in Africa and the brain drain and so forth? A very good example, in my opinion, is like Dubai and the way that Dubai was developed. You know, a lot of times people think that, oh, it's in the Gulf and they made their money off of oil, but actually oil is a very small part of their economy. What happened was is that because of their leadership, he was very insightful, and he actually took a loan, from my understanding, from some of the other Gulf leaders, and he established his kingdom as a port, you know, basically they're a port city, you know, and so they make their money off of other countries visiting, you know, like using their ports as, you know, a midway in the Arabian Gulf. And so, and I just mentioned that to say that I think, of course, when it comes to the resources, Africa, we have so many resources without question. But the problem is that if we could have like one leader like Paul Kingali in Rwanda, right? If we had other, he doesn't have he's a it's a small country, and they're kind of landlocked, and they don't really have, like, say, the resources that, say, in Nigeria, a Gambia, or Senegal would have, because those are port countries. I mean, they're on the ocean. I think that if we had governments that were willing to invest in the people and say, okay, we're going to make sure that we become, like, for example, a technology hub for Western Africa, or we're going to make sure that we have like world class medical facilities in for West Africa, as an example. Then that would stop some of the brain drain, where those people, those Nigerian physicians and so forth, can say, okay, well, we're going to move to Senegal instead of going to the United States, because they have world class medical facilities and they're investing in that. It's safe for, you know, the government has made it safe for us to go there, and we're going to go ahead and invest in that instead of going all the way to these Western countries. That's just an example, you know.
Very good example. Go ahead.
Very good example.
No, go
ahead.
Talib. No, you know what he was saying is what yeah. What is that area in Nigeria, in Lagos, that they build like a island on? They only got like 1 or 2 buildings on there right now. Atlantis or something? I don't know what it's called. But
is it Lagos?
Yes, it's on the water that they build. They have like, you know, in Dubai, they build islands and stuff, man-made islands, that one. I mean, places like that they have new developments. They're trying to build high rises and you know, things like that for people to live. What about some type of you know, you got Silicon Valley that moved from the Northern California, moved to Austin, Texas 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? All that technology, all that the brother's talking about, that could be a hub for that, you know, when it comes to technical things. And there's other parts of another country, maybe Ghana, maybe Cameroon, or like you said, Senegal can be part of like a medical hub. You know what I'm saying? You come over here, you're going to get the best medical technology, better facilities. You know, these brothers and sisters coming back from the West already, they got this information. They're professors, they're writing books all the time. You know what I'm saying? When you have a PhD, you have to write a book every time. Yeah. So so the brother hit the nail on the head on that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way, one of the ways to eliminate what's going on. And so you know, having the foreign universities in the country does help as well, but still they're not getting that same. I mean, it's still going to be skyrocket prices. People aren't making that type of salary here. A lot of people could be, you know, but they got to make it in the West in order to even go to these type of schools. What happened? What is that place called in the Caribbean where a lot of people go? There's a hot medical school there. It's cheaper, and a lot of Americans go there because it's an island in there.
It's not Barbados, is it?
Bermuda,
maybe, or Barbados.
Yeah,
Bermuda,
maybe.
maybe.
Or Barbados. Yeah, but they
I think
go
it's
there.
Bermuda.
It's Bermuda, huh? But they go there because it's cheaper, it's inexpensive, and they still get the same accreditation. You know what I'm saying? So and it's in the African type of country, a black-run country. But go ahead, brothers. I'm sorry. I'm running my mouth.
Basically,
but good to see you, brother. You know, yeah. Thanks for your support, bro.
Thank you, brothers, man. And I think this is a very, you know, awesome topic. You know, Allah barik fikum, you know, for you brothers, man, for doing this. I mean, Allah, you know, bring the ultimate reward for this. I mean, you know, and so another thing that I noticed too, brothers, is that when you look at, for example, Gulf students from the Arabian Gulf, from the students when they come to the West, right? 9 times out of 10, they're going to go back home when they're done studying. And the reason why that is the case is because they know that they're not going to make as much money in the U.S., but they know that they have very friendly governments, and their government is going to support them when they get back. I went to school with a lot of
Right.
Kuwaiti dentists, and so what happened was is that as soon as they get home, once they graduate from dental school, they're guaranteed to get a job from the Kuwaiti government in a dental, like a dental facility. And the way the government does that is they'll say, well, look, we're going to move a foreign, dentist. We're going to make him or her go back home, and we're going to guarantee a job when you get home. Then also what they do is they say, look, well, if you marry, for example, a Kuwaiti girl or a Kuwaiti woman, a Kuwaiti sister, alhamdulillah, they'll say, well, look, we'll finance you a house, so that you can basically get a house without any interest or what have you. And so you can support your family and continue to
Wow.
build on the Kuwaiti community. And so sometimes I think just incentives like that within Africa, because
Yes.
land is the ultimate resource, right? We have so much land in Africa, right? And so
Mhm,
this is
mhm.
something to say, well, look, we can't pay you like as a doctor that's working in the United States or in Germany or something like this,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
we can have a house built for you, on an
Yes.
acre or whatever else, and in Senegal or whatever, or in Ghana. And so, this is kind of an incentive to say that we want you to be here. We want you to contribute to the society. So these are things that we could think about.
Right.
That I wish that African governments had this type of more insight to keep their
Yes.
people back home.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think
Listen,
what's going on. I'm sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead,
Rafi.
Afi.
Oh, okay.
No.
What I think is going on though, still, as you speaking on that, there are businessmen that are pushing themselves to be more influential. There's like maybe two main African, I can't remember. One's either from Nigeria and the other one might be from Kenya. I can't remember, but they did some talks and some forum talks, and they were just throwing some stuff out there about business and this and that and this and that, and they got us, a really flow with it to where more and more people are going to them and getting educated from them. Like we got our Robert Kiyosaki's here. We got all these different type of financial people putting seminars and talks and even coaching courses and stuff like that. That's what they need to do there, because they the ones or the forerunners of economics, the businessmen. You know this, Afi, Happy Quebec. You know what I'm saying? Even him, he spoke in one of his videos, and I was like, yeah, that's wonderful. He was dropping some stuff, mashallah, about how he dealt with the workers and trying to train them from the ways that they were used to, habits, and not just being, thorough about themselves. Like, remember, he was talking about with the receipts, getting receipts and stuff. He was saying, make sure they get receipts and stuff. And some of the that we learned in the diaspora, we bring it over there to try to get you to be more, up to par when we're doing business, so that it can go forth and be more successful. And then talk about it, educate the other people, start creating that dialogue, and then get the people like, okay, now the government is looking at it. We outnumbered now. They outnumbered because they got everybody that mindset, and especially of course if you're a Muslim country and you being religious and trying to keep that going, because we got to keep that going for Allah. If you're Christian, Jew, and you're just being serious about that, but pushing that the righteous, honorable life of business. Not this stuff that how we've learned, shiesty, and then even over there, in Africa they got the shiesty stuff going on. So all of that be engulfed by good business, good economics, and then to try to propel, the people, push the people into the governments to start doing like you're saying, bro, because they're still stuck in their habitual way, and they feel, okay, well, we just do it how we've been doing. One comes in, the other one goes out, the other comes in, and they kind of just do the same thing, and it's sad. But like you said, that's the prospect. Like in Rwanda, the president, he's one out of the many that is trying to propel that, what you're talking about.
Now, I mean, if I could, I just add that I think that as far as the diaspora community, things that we can do that can prepare us for making that hijra, if you will, that big Saeed always talks about that, alhamdulillah, that Allah has blessed him to make the hijrah to the land of Tawheed, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless him. I mean, but one thing that unfortunately what happens with us when talking about people of African descent is that unfortunately, unlike what Saeed did, alhamdulillah, is that he went very prepared. And I think that what we have to do is that we have to learn how to prepare ourselves to make those moves. And what that means is that we can't just show up and say, "Well, I'm here now, and find me something." We have to say, "Well, look, okay, if I'm going to do business, I have to know, well, what do the people need? What am I going to try to sell? What am I going to do here? And who's going to be my market? Who am I going to sell to? Or if I have some technical skills, does the country that I want to go to, am I going to have that infrastructure in place so that I can practice my technical skills in this country and make money off of it? How is the internet connections in the country that I'm going to? It's like if I plan to do that, if I'm going to do some kind of special projects where my audience is our businesses back in the West, then I'm going to have to make sure that the country that I'm going to is going to have a solid, internet connections, as an example. And so also computer technology. I mean, if my stuff, am I going to get all of my hardware from the United States and bring it to this other country, or if something breaks, am I going to be able to replace my routers and so forth in this country that I'm moving to? If I'm going to sell something, do they have those products over there that I can sell and move to and make money off of the US? And so because realistically, we can make a lot of money if we have businesses in the motherland and our audience is selling back to Western dollars. Then we can make big money this way. But then also until the African economies can get bigger. So.
I agree.
Right.
Can I add on that real quick? Brother Tony, can I add on that? I think, like you said, thank you, man, Shukran Jazilan, for that, man. What you said about me. But I say one thing is that coming prepared, man. I'm learning everything as I'm on the ground right now, every single day about everything, man. My hours are long, I tell you, brothers, really long. But one thing, it's a blessing, alhamdulillah. But one thing I can say is that I would suggest that come prepared as a group. Okay, come prepared as a company already, getting ready to start a company together, and you already know, like the brother mentioned, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. That's not exploiting. It's not trying to do wrong with the diaspora. Hey, that's where they're trying to connect with us. With the we're trying to connect with our people here. We are a conduit. What do you call it? Conduit to them. We are. We are that pathway. We are that eyes and ears on the ground. And so you can have a corporation, a company it can be people be based in the States, also based in the country, and they can come back and forth. They can come do business trips and stuff like that. But if you come as a group, a business is already made. Instead of I'm gonna start a company right now. What I need? What do I need this? Come with already a plan already established with people who are in the same kind of fields that you are in, or maybe they be in 3 or 4 different fields, but that's what makes a company. People with different backgrounds. Someone does logistics, someone's good with trucking, someone's good with construction, someone's good with engineering, someone's good with teaching, someone's good with marketing. You got all these people that are good with stuff. So that's what I see the mistake that's been made is that we're coming here and we're expecting to start something from scratch instead of, hey, send some people, 2 or 3 brothers, 4 or 5 brothers and sisters out to the continent and say, what's going on? Hey, let me holler at THC. He's on the ground right now. What's going on, brother? How's it out there? Life out there? What's the life like? What do you think they need out here? You know what I'm saying? And then, and then you come over here, set up the register your business. Hey, are there any buildings that needs? How much is a building that we can have a office that we can occupy? Where's a good location? Where's the structure at? I did some type of a thing the other night about business. How to create a business, something like that. So that's one thing I'm saying. We are other countries. Trust me, their people are they're strategic planners. They plan way ahead. They send their scouts out to see what's going on. They come out here 6 months. They pay their rent and stuff. Hey, you're gonna be here for 6 months. What's going on in the country? And then they come over there and they say, okay, this is what they need. They're lacking this. They need this, or they have a lot of this. This can be exported. This can be imported. This is what's going on. This is a plan. And then they come over there and they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I like when brother make that point.
Right
good
on.
Point, brother. Yeah.
You too, man. Mashallah, we make some good points. And the thing about it is all to sum up what you brothers are saying is to do your homework before you go.
Yes.
And to gather with the like-minded people like you said, Saeed, like-minded people, because it helps to have a team. And they come together and get it done. But have your plan, have your homework done, all the areas of resources that you can gather up from the people who are there that themselves on the ground or so forth and like this. And also to kind of, because the time is going by, I gotta get to the family again. But close out in a few. But is that with the brothers that are and the sisters that tried to go out, and especially the younger generation of Africans for the diaspora out there who are trying to get educated, or all the reasons they're going out for, other than just for leisure, because you can get leisure in Africa on now. But anyway, we're not trying to leave you brothers out or sisters out as though to say, okay, well, you had to do what you had to do, because everybody has their own situation. But the main thing is what we're trying to say is have a plan there too when you go. And your plan should be not to just altogether give up on Africa. It doesn't make sense. This land is rich. There's so many things that we have here. So we could take from and build ourselves up as a people and be in the world together on a more equal level of scale of things, because we're not. Our people, most of African descended on bottom of the totem pole because of our own, also our own issues, but not just them, what they do, but things that put ourselves further back behind. We don't want to do things or get things done. Like, for instance, as an example, Saudi, they're diasporans, right? Check it out. And I'm mine is Ukrainians. They came to when I was living in Pennsylvania at the time, and I saw droves of them made their way to go and get educated in the universities in this area called Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And they have Wilkes-Barre University, and they had King's University, had a few of them. They were all in there, brothers. He packed it, and alhamdulillah, some of them, they connected with us. They connected with the masjid that the local masjid that was there, and there was another masjid that had more Arab and Indo-Paki and stuff like that. So the community got really well known of them being there. But the main thing that I did get to know is that they had a plan. They was coming there to get that education, but bringing it back to the Memlek, to Saudi, to help build it up even more. Let alone because they know these people know, and they deal with their economics every day when they're talking about and discussing, like any country and government has to do, to know how things are changing in the world. And oil ain't going to be forever for them. And you know what I mean? They had to get some other education from their youth to bring that back so they can build up. We need to do the same thing. We need to keep doing the same thing. If we're going out, be mindful where you're going. And this is all is the sum of this video for, is just to change that narrative. Okay, I'm just going and jumping out there, get my education because they're going to give me a corporation, just like the brother was talking about, Saeed, or this and all that we want to get, that you want to get, and you get stuck there, or you get really stranded, like we seen earlier. So we don't want that. Let's try to bring ourselves back to Africa, get our education, get what we need, have a plan, coming back to help build what we should be doing, because we're from there. Our ancestors from there, all that. So Allah knows best. But any one of you can finish up and just give a sum up for the people to try to give them a good word, and then we can close out, inshallah.
Inshallah. I'll go ahead and start. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's a good live. It was an honor thank you for having me on this live, man. Thank you for your support when you come on my channel live, bro. Appreciate it. And Bodez, my moderator, I made a moderator for me, you know what I'm saying? And he showed up on the live today. Thank you so much. That was a random live. I was heading to my shops. You know, what we need to do, you know, is what everybody just mentioned here tonight in a combination is combine everything and just encipher. You know what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters listening in the chat. I shared this video on my Facebook and everything. So hopefully get a lot of views for you, bro, because this is a good topic. I think that we need to just, you know, some mistakes that was made that I saw here myself is that people, like I said, people trying to start things here and get everybody to invest. Hey, come over here, get invest instead of starting there where you at and get everything set up. And then it gets the scouts out. Hey, we got this going. We got a couple of connects here on the ground, and then move everything slowly. And then you got your company right there, got your business, you know, helping repass, helping this, you know, getting things like that. So that's what I'm thinking. And also we gotta, you know, when we go to different places, or, you know, from diaspora, from the continent, they go into these places like they're begging for assistance all the time. The education, we need your education. We need this. We need this from you, you know. And that's what causes the superiority complex for a lot of the people here in those countries to mistreat us and things like that. And so that's what's going on. It's like, oh, y'all need us. We didn't ask you to come here. You can go back to Africa. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to keep that in mind, bros. Akhwan, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I'm finished.
Daniel Saeed coming in, trying to get it in, give it to the people.
Get it in.
We appreciate it, bro. Mashallah.
Both you brothers.
Give us some closeout. It's some fa'ida. Mashallah.
Inshallah. Like I said, barakallahu fikum to both you brothers, man, for the content. And may Allah bless you and preserve you both, inshallah, and all the rest of the brothers who contribute and sisters that contribute to this platform and trying to spread the dawah to the people. And so, you know, I guess in closing, the point that I really wanted to focus on was you mentioned about, both your brothers mentioned about homework. And one thing I think that is very important when you're making that migration, you know, when you're trying to get back to the motherland, or, you know, some other place that you decide that, well, you know, the United States is just not the place for me, or in the West is not the place for me, and there's some other place I'd like to go to. One thing things that are very important to understand is that the world is very spacious. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this world very spacious. And it's important for us that when we decide on a place, that we have to understand that that country or that community is not going to change for us. And it is important for us to make adjustments to fit into that community. For example, I mean, alhamdulillah, the brother talked about, I believe your wife is Fula, right? And you're learning Fulani and you're learning Walla, from my understanding, alhamdulillah. And that's the type of thing, to immerse ourselves into the culture. Because I think that unfortunately, especially us, man, especially the African American community, what I've seen from us is that unfortunately we'll go to places that we maybe haven't researched enough, and we'll become very resentful of the culture in those places. For example, Gambia. Gambia, you know, and it's like what, 90+% Muslim, right?
Yes.
If you and you know, we're all different, we have different faiths and so forth. But alhamdulillah, if you are going to have problems, as an example, with Islam or Muslim culture, or what Muslims do, this, that, and the other, don't go to Gambia and make, for example, Senegal or whatever else, and make trouble for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Go to a place where they can practice the spirituality that you believe in, because the Gambian people are not going to change, or the Muslim people or the Christian people, whatever, are not going to change their religion because Joe showed up there and he doesn't like the way things are. Learn the local language, learn the customs, be humble, and try to acclimate yourself within the culture and be accustomed to the culture, you know? And so that's a very important thing. That's all I wanted to add on that, Juan. Barakallahu fikum.
Barakallahu fikum, my bro, for coming again, and hopefully we'll see you again in one of the streams, either his or mine. And then you got the brother Abdullah Sujada, is it? Method, right? Yeah. And brother, you got the brother Africa, what's his name again? African. And you got Sheikh Yahya. So, you know, we try to keep it up and keep, you know, educating the people. and as best as we can from what we know. You know, we don't want to come off no hip stuff neither. You know, but yeah, I appreciate you brothers coming and everything. And just like Abode said, you know, just plan your plan and work plan well. And like you said, Akhi, as well, you know, be prepared to come. And when you come in here, but if you're going out of here, out of Africa, out of the continent, then go there with a plan and make sure you return back to give that which you have, you know, or you gain, inshallah. Now, brothers, barakallahu fikum again, and people don't forget to like and share the video, inshallah, and you know, also subscribe to our brothers here, African Pain Abode. I don't know, Abode, do you actually have your own channel too?
I don't. No, I don't. No. I get too much out of benefit from you brothers, man. So I don't need. But
yeah, we appreciate you. My brothers, y'all be good, inshallah, and hope
brother.
to see y'all soon again. And have a good evening, or like his brother, he's in the morning right there. Have a good
morning. Yeah,
get some rest, okay, bro.
I am.
All right, brothers.
Okay, we're fine.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, people. And thank you very much for those who was in here and is also being in the chat, and everybody. I appreciate your viewing and subscribing, and if you liked it and so forth. And those of you watched the video proceeding after the actual stream, live stream, you know, don't forget to like and share and everything like that. But do comment. I would like to get some feedback and, you know, anything, questions that you may have. My email, I will be putting it in description, and also other ways that you can contact me, and inshallah, if you want to, you know, communicate with me directly. And also Happy Companion, you know, his channel, he's there for the people too, and he gives his email for, you know, direct connection, or trying to speak and communicate with him about whatever you might want to know about what he's doing in Gambia and the likes of this. And again, I appreciate you people coming, and you have a good evening, and peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. Assalamu alaikum.